That awkward moment when your friend says to you, Sparks, can't you just replace this with this? Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Map Making with Sparks. As always, it is Sparks, though you would be forgiven for mistaking me for somebody else. My voice probably sounds a little bit different today. New microphone, you might be asking, perhaps quite excitedly. No. It turns out that for the last year, or half a year that I've had this mic, I've been recording with the microphone pointed away from me. Crazy Man and I were doing some audio tests today for a multiplayer series we're going to be recording, and we noticed that Crazy Man was quite a bit quieter than I was. And then we realised that he was on the side of the symmetrical microphone without the logo, and I was on the side with the logo, and I was louder. So I went home and checked my mic. I have the same mic he does, and noticed that my Pro Sound logo was facing away from me. So I'm probably, hopefully, quite a bit clearer. In the comments, if you want to tell me whether you think I actually sound clearer now, I'm quite possibly louder, but hopefully I sound clearer, because people were saying I sounded muffled and I couldn't work out how to fix it. It turns out I've been having the microphone the wrong way around this whole time. So hopefully this is going to work a little bit better now. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I also thought it was quite a funny story. So, where are you, mate? You may very well be asking yourself right now. The answer to that is Torbray's map. This is another section of the Trutinol server. Torbray's been hard at working on his area, Castle Warfare, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Basically, this is his team selection room. I've been sort of doing the redstone for it, and it's quite nice, really. The nice thing about it is that these levers, like basically when you're ready, it turns green. Your light down there turns green as well, and you can switch it to red, which is quite nice. And the really cool thing is, if, say, the team is ready and somebody down here decides to join the dark team, you see how that's currently green and ready, the switch can be turned off by other parts of this redstone, which is this bit down here. The leave team platform and the join team platform both connect up to this command block here, which replaces the lever with an unflicked lever, and this command block here, which replaces this redstone dust here with another piece of redstone dust, which then updates everything, turns everything off, and therefore we have a lever that we can fix. And I thought it was a bit nicer than a button, because it means that if a team's ready, unlike with a button before, you can now go, oh, hang on, we're not ready, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that, the team selection room. There's also a team randomizer, which puts you onto it alternates between team members, randomly choosing them and putting them on the balcony. And you'll notice it's a lot faster than Crazy Man's area. I don't know if any of you remember, but for the randomization or joining with Crazy Man's map, you got teleported up to a little capsule on top of the system, and from there you would then be moved to your balcony. I basically found a faster way of doing that, where it sets you to your team and teleports you all at once. It doesn't seem to break. I need to test it a little bit with a group of people, but at the moment it's looking great. So let's have a quick look at Crazy Man's map, Torbray's map, and we're going to join the dark team, because that's the side that's mostly done. So we go over here and we ready the light team, and we ready the dark team. And if you notice, I can't turn it off anymore. That's a feature. Okay, so we've got our stuff. We can put this on if we weren't in creative mode, and after a certain amount of time, love that. This is very similar to what I had for Crazy Man, but again, kind of improved. That's this whole setup up here. There's a new thing I've got on the armor here. It's called Unbreakable. You can see it at the very bottom there. And this is a tag that I didn't know about, which I saw on the Reddit. So thank you, Reddit. I can't remember who posted it, I'm sorry. Where rather than adding Unbreaking 100 to these, you can just actually make them unbreakable. So I've done that. I think that's pretty cool. This is Torbray's map. Doesn't it look great? He's got this whole dilapidated castle look, like there's bits of stone that have fallen out of the ceiling and things like that. Some of the drapes have fallen. This is the dark side of the area. I think it looks very nice. Here's his first node, and he's got quite a nice. Well, this is new. Oh, as a whole. Oh, sorry. I haven't looked in a little while. Like 2 or 3 days maybe, because I've been at Crazy Man's editing. There's sort of a nice sniper point here. It's a beautifully designed map. I think he's doing a great job on it. Um, his area. You don't fight to capture roads like Crazy Man's map, but almost the same. And you can see it hasn't really finished. You capture. You control sniper points and barricades. So this is a barricade, and this only exists if the dark team owns this center node. This one here only exists if the dark team owns the center node, and this wall is only not here when the light team own the center node. So by capturing the center node, you progress yourself further through the game, but you give the other team some advantages, or it changes where barricades are placed, which I think is quite nice. The reason we're over here in Torbray's area. Oh yeah, he's thinking about having some invincible villagers as sort of castle citizens, so that your shot can quite possibly hit a villager rather than a player. So they'll add a sort of moving human shields and things, and there's little side passageways. But the reason that we're here today is because Torbray's map is the first one that I'm going to try and attach the new MEAP Juice system to. The reason I'm choosing his and not Crazy Man's is that his is sort of decorated and stuff, and I feel like working somewhere else other than Crazy Man's area, and most of the redstone in Crazy Man's area is now outdated. I've kind of fixed it all. So I've been thinking quite long and hard about the MEAP Juice distribution. There's a couple of different ways we could do this. One option would be to give people MEAP Juice when they capture a node. One option would be to make the MEAP Juice spawn randomly around the map or in certain areas of the map. So say there could be MEAP Juice that occasionally spawns back here. Or you could make it so that MEAP Juice is just randomly handed to players, or maybe handed to them when they kill somebody, they could get some MEAP Juice. Now, I don't like the idea of giving people MEAP Juice when they capture a node, because MEAP Juice is quite powerful. You know, it positively affects you, it can help you win the game, and it negatively affects your enemies. So, I feel like the losing team should, if either are favoured, be the ones to get MEAP Juice. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to do random distribution of MEAP Juice. I'm thinking about having sort of maybe on tables and in certain areas. And we're going to make it so that it will only spawn MEAP Juice if there's nobody too close to it. So maybe if there's nobody within 5 blocks or so of it, just to stop people camping. So there's some spawning on that table. I can't just stand here, wait for more MEAP Juice, and continuously splash anyone who comes past. So that, you know, it adds a little bit of change to that. So we're going to be looking at MEAP Juice distribution. We're going to be looking at how we can distribute it and decide where the MEAP Juice should appear and how often, stuff like that. And we may look at potion randomization. I've also got one other thing to show you, which we will look at now. Okay, so here we are. We're in a private test world of mine. This is where I do all my experiments. We're not on the server, and that's because MEAP Juice, that is the actual user, the YouTuber MEAP Juice, who is actually by no means a bad redstoner. He does some very good stuff on his channel if you want to check him out. He's invented his own version of the MEAP Juice system that I created. His uses health as a tracker. Health is pretty much the only stat you can track that potions can affect. So I think it's a really cool design, a very different approach, and I just want to show you how it works, sort of point out how it's better than my design and how it's worse in other respects. So this only seems to work if you are in survival properly. So I'm currently on the light team. I've created a light team objective, and I have some dark MEAP Juice. So if I splash myself with dark MEAP Juice, that's bad. So you can see that my health is full, and it says, "Oh no, you've been splashed by dark," and I have slowness for a couple of seconds. As a member of the light team, if I get splashed by light MEAP Juice, the system says, "You have been splashed with light, you lucky dog," and I get speed. So pretty good. In the same way, I can go scoreboard, teams, join, dark. Give myself some more potions. And now, as a member of the dark team, this should give me speed again. Yep, that refreshed my speed. And light MEAP Juice gives me a bad message and slowness. So works really well. Now the problem with this, I can actually highlight right now. You see how I'm on half a heart? If I splash myself, oh hang on, I just regained my health there. You see how I'm on 1 heart down? If I splash myself with this, it gives me regen and then sets me back down. So the problem this system effectively causes is that anybody who's splashed by it is healed to full health. The good thing about this system is that because it uses a health tracker, it doesn't have to randomly scan for players like my system. So the really good thing about it is that it works very quickly, almost instantly, regardless of the amount of people playing, whereas mine gets slower and slower the more people are playing the map. The bad thing is, as I said, that it completely heals anyone who gets splashed. And I don't know, it's a bit of a trade-off thing, because if it was only a positive effect thing, like if it was just a drinkable potion, I really wouldn't mind, because it heals you, and that's kind of a positive thing. And you might argue that if you are going to get a negative effect, it's kind of removes the overpoweringness of it by also healing the enemy. But personally, I'm not sure that if I had a potion in my hand which could give people negative effects on the opposite team, I'm not sure if I would use it offensively as well as defensively if it healed them. Just saying. So I'm not really sure which system to use anymore. And I'm thinking I do have ideas for other potions in this map. So maybe what I might do, and I haven't decided yet, and I'd like your feedback in this in the comments, guys. Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my system for the MEAP Juice, which is slower but doesn't heal enemies. And when it comes to some other potion, I could have something positive, like a full heal potion of some kind, which, as well as healing you fully, as this system does, it will also give you some positive effects like speed and regen, which is quite a rare potion to get maybe, but that way it doesn't matter that you get healed. The other slight problem with it is that, positive or negative, you take a tick of damage, which means if you're sprinting or jumping, damage ticks stop your sprint and it stops your jump in midair, and that can be a bit annoying. So I'm not really sure what to do about it. What do you guys think? Do you think that full health and a tick of damage is a bad thing for the MEAP Juice? Would you prefer that to having to wait a couple of seconds for your potion to be delivered into your system? These are good questions, and I would very much appreciate your feedback. But I definitely hope that I can use MEAP Juice's system here somehow, because it's very clever and a lot faster than mine. So good job, MEAP Juice. Let's get down to the distribution of the potions. So I've actually just listened back to the first 2 parts of this recording session, and I do sound a lot clearer. It's really nice. So that's great. That was I was worried I was gonna have to mess with some sort of audio setting on my computer or buy a new microphone. Nope, just had to sit on the other side of it. So okay. By the way, I've just received notification that Aerophyte on the Accidental Let's Play server has just died. So I'm no longer the only one who has died. Yay! Anyway, back on topic. It took me a little while here to work out how to summon these potions, because before I've been using the give command, which drops it directly into your inventory like these ones do, which is great, but if we want these to randomly appear on the floor, I kind of had to recode them in case anybody's interested. Summoning is a little bit different. They have an item tag. Damage is basically data, and then there's the whole load of stuff here which you can pause and look at if you ever really needed to. Quite a few closed brackets at the end. And this actually spawns it on the ground in a specified location. So that's more suited to our design here, which is great. This is going to be our target test point. We're going to be trying to spawn our potions here. And since this is going to probably be fairly complicated, we're going to do this in stages. So to begin with, we've already worked out how to spawn items in a set location. So let's create a timer and connect that timer up to a command block which spawns items there, and also give these items a custom despawn time so that there's only ever one of a potion in that slot. So if nobody takes the potion, you don't end up with 2 there. So I'm going to try that out and we'll be right back. Okay, so we seem to be getting somewhere here. This is a clock, a hopper clock, which is currently using about 20 items, and it flicks between the two spots. And every full resolution revolution, it spawns an item here. Now you'll notice that this despawns quite quickly. It has an age tag added to it. So about now, it vanishes. That time can be adjusted. I've added it right at the start here, age 5785. I think that these potions should probably spawn a little bit less often than this, but it's good to see that it's working, you know. So at the moment we've got something which at a predetermined amount of time spawns light MEAP juice with a certain age. So that's a good start. Now, obviously, we need to there's light MEAP juice and there's dark MEAP juice, and we kind of need to work out how to give it, if that makes sense. Like one example would be to work out which team has the closest member, or what team the closest person is on, and spawn a MEAP juice of that color, of that type, maybe. That would be a good way of doing it. And I also think that we could really do with something that stops people from standing here and waiting for potions to appear at their feet like that. I reckon that it should only spawn potions if there's nobody within a certain radius. So, also, I don't know, do you reckon that it should be a set amount of time, kind of like the orbs in Micromaniacs, a game none of you have ever played ever, I'm sure, where they always appear at a set amount of time after they've vanished? Or do you think that it should be randomized? Like every time this clock goes, do you reckon I should have a randomizer which might spawn a potion? Maybe... For now, let's go with the randomizer and have it randomly choose which potion type to spawn as well. I reckon that might be a good idea. So I'm going to try that out. Okay, so we have two randomizers hooked up here to our clock. One is for light juice and one is for dark juice, and each one has a certain chance, a 50-50 chance of spawning a potion. So we've got some dark MEAP juice over here now. And basically, there's a slight problem with this in that it could randomly, I don't know what the odds are, probably a quarter of the time it could spawn, like it just has now, both potions at once. Don't know if that's a bad thing. You can probably fix it. Probably not really an issue. The way these randomizers work, they're very clever and they're used quite a lot. There's a shovel and a quartz block down here, and when it's powered, it randomly chooses a shovel or a quartz block to put into the hopper. Shovels don't stack, so they give out quite a large signal strength, which reaches this command block and spawns the potion over there. Whereas quartz blocks do stack, so it only gives a signal strength of 1 and doesn't actually reach the command block. So that's how that works. You know, there's a chance that you don't get a potion at all. There's a chance that you get both, one or the other. So I don't know. That could work, but I feel like it should maybe spawn a potion based on who's closest. The thing is, if I'm a member of the light team and I get some dark MEAP juice like this, it's absolutely useless to me, because if I throw it on myself, I take damage. If I throw it at my enemies, they get a positive effect. So, I mean, if I'm running down a road and I stumble across some dark MEAP juice, I'm kind of stuck with it. The best I can do is sort of get rid of it like that and just try and throw it away, or toss it on the ground and hope nobody picks it up, because it's really not a helpful item. So I don't know, maybe I should actually clear dark MEAP juice from the inventory of light team players and clear light MEAP juice from the inventory of dark team players. Just if you pick it up, you can't use it because there's no need to use it. Why would you want to use it? It's horrible. Who wants it? So I don't know. I might set up. We already have a clock running anyway for the nodes, which I haven't built over here yet. I've got a new node design coming out, but we might have the clock attached to something which clears dark MEAP juice from light team players and vice versa. I don't think the randomizer thing is going to work, but I'm not sure whether I can work out which team the closest player is on. But I'll have a quick go, and I'll be back in a second and see if I can work it out. Okay, so I've just added myself to the light team, which means we're going to get some light MEAP juice here. If I join the dark team, then on the next revolution of this circuitry behind me, which will happen in a little while, that will become dark MEAP Juice. I managed to work out basically which team the closest player to a node point is on. So yeah, that's dark MEAP Juice now. Fairly simple. It's to do with this thing you can see in the corner of my screen here, MEAP DH. That's a MEAP distribution. I can't even remember why I called it that. MEAP distribution helper, I think it was. It doesn't really matter what it's called. Now, the way this works to determine what team the closest player is on is, first of all, it finds the closest player to the node point where that potion is spawning over there, which is these coordinates, and it gives them a MEAP DH value of 1. Then pretty much instantly, one tick later, it sets the closest player to that node's score who has a score of 1 and is on the dark team to 0, and at the same time does the same thing to people on the light team. And there's comparators here which output positively if it works. So if the closest player is on the dark team, their MEAP DH value gets set to 1, and this system here tries to set everybody who's on the dark team with a value of 1 to 0, and if it succeeds, it spawns some dark MEAP Juice. And the same thing for the light MEAP Juice. So as long as a dark team player is the closest to this node point, it will spawn dark MEAP Juice. Now, I think that works pretty well as a system. It gets a little complicated when you have more than one node, though. When you have more than one of these spawn points. So, for instance, if we had another spawn point here, if, say, we have a player here, this is John, he's our player, and he's on the light team. So it's fine, you know? He's closer than me to that node, and I'm closer than him to this node. So that's all fine. If I'm suddenly closest to 2 nodes, say, like this gives me a value of 1, and if each node gives me a different value, so that you can work out which node you belong to, if I set it to 1, I wouldn't be able to work out which node I was closest to. So this one has a value of 1, this one would have a value of 2. So this one sets me to 2, and this one sets me to 1 at the same time. Either at the same time, in which case it doesn't work, or it does this one, and then a tick later it does this one, which means that it kind of gets a little bit laggy and time-consuming if there's too many nodes. Another option would be, rather than having one objective called MEAP DH and setting it to a different number, have one objective per node point. I don't know how much lag that would cause, but I think that, well, I don't know how much of an issue having lots of scoreboard objectives is. It's probably not an issue. I'm not really sure, though. I don't understand scoreboard storage very well. I know there's a file on the server. It might make the server file bigger, but it might not cause lag. So maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe this one should be MEAP DH1, and this will be MEAP DH2, and this one will set the closest player MEAP DH1 to 1, and this one will set the closest player's MEAP DH2 to 1. That might be the way to do it. So I reckon we've got the locational thing pretty much sorted. This is currently tracking 1 point, and we'd need 4 command blocks per point, basically. But considering hopper clocks don't cause too much lag, and this will probably be switching much less frequently than it currently is, it shouldn't be generating too much lag. That's not too bad at all. Let's see. Yeah, we have that sorted out. What else? We wanted to clear people's inventories if it's not part of their potion, and I do that as a courtesy rather than a limitation, because otherwise it's just going to build up in your inventory. You want to steal it if you see it, so that the other team can't use it, don't you? But you can't use it or have any use for it when you find it. So I'll probably have it converted. Yeah, I mean, I could have a generic MEAP potion that doesn't belong to either team, and then a detector which works out who has it and then gives them the appropriate potion. But I think that'll be time consuming as well. It'll be time consuming. It'll be as time consuming as the actual MEAP effect giver. So I don't think it's really a good idea. So yeah, we're going to go with the closest player. The only thing we really need to do now is add a radius so that if I'm too close, nothing spawns. And then I reckon we can call it for today. We're kind of getting into the 20-minute mark, and we haven't looked at the randomizer yet. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about the randomizer a lot, and I'm still not certain really what to do. So we'll probably cover that in a later episode. So let me just try and see if I can get a radius thing going, which should be fairly simple. And then I'll be right back. Okay, well, you can see that over there's currently nothing spawning. That's because I'm within 10 blocks of the spawn point. Redstone got a little bit crazy for it. If I step back one, I think I should get some MEAP Juice appearing over there now. Ready? There we go. Okay, so the radius thing works. It's cool. It's a bit bigger than I'd like, to be honest. I don't know how many points I want on this map, but I'm kind of getting worried because this is basically an AND gate. This thing here is testing for any player within 10 blocks of that starting spawn point. If there is, it powers this output here, which stops this torch from turning on. And this bit here is just basically to AND gate against the pulse. So, and then that connects to this whole thing over here with the checker that we did earlier. So I am going to have to try and make this nice and tidy and as lag-free as possible. But I think we've got something good going here. Providing we do end up going for the random spawn on the floor based system. One option that I was thinking of is, if any of you have ever played Super Craft Brothers, or in fact Aerophyte, Crazy Man, myself and Pete played Super Craft Brothers as our first ever collaboration. You can see it on this channel if you want to know what I'm talking about. Super Craft Brothers has an item spawner that's made by Seth Bling. It has like a spawner, but it spawns items, and it has custom items that it can spawn, and it has a custom radius, so it will randomly choose a location somewhere within a radius of it to spawn an item. So if we didn't want specific points with checkers and things, and we didn't mind if it spawned dark or light MEAP Juice, we could set up one of those spawners. It would be essentially pretty much lag-free, and it would choose anywhere, really, to spawn the item. I don't know if that's going to work if there's a roof, though. I might have to look into that, and it kind of defeats the whole point of working out which player's closest and stuff like that. But that's an option, you know. We could have a completely randomized spawner rather than specific locations. Although I do like the idea that MEAP Juice is hidden. Like you could have one up here that you have to jump to get, or you could have one sort of spawn back here. Things like that, you know, sort of little hidden areas. Maybe have them spawn occasionally in helpful areas like behind this barricade, which is quite sort of on the route along to things, but it has the advantage of, you know, if you're behind this barricade, you're probably fighting people, and a MEAP Juice will probably be quite handy there. So I might have to talk to Torbray, see if he has any suggestions where he thinks MEAP Juice should appear. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. We've, I think, had quite a good episode. I've certainly enjoyed it. I've really been enjoying working on this MEAP Juice system stuff. So I think next episode we might look at the randomizer, but if I feel like taking a break from the potions, which might be a good idea, I have the new node system to show off and to fine tune, which I think we will have to install here very soon. So I think maybe next episode we'll look at the new node system and see how it works and stuff like that. So thank you very much for watching. I've really been enjoying working on this. I hope you guys are still enjoying the series. And to summarize the questions I had for this episode, unimportantly, do you think my microphone sounds clearer? Is it good? And more importantly, do you think that MEAP Juice's MEAP Juice system, which fully heals the enemy and takes a tick of damage, is worth it for the fact that it gives you the MEAP Juice effect very quickly? Or would you consider that a bad thing, having your enemies fully healed by using the MEAP Juice as an offensive weapon? So either of those things in the comments, please let me know what you think, or any other questions I've asked in this episode that I've forgotten to mention right now in the summary. I'm rambling, so thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.